The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys!
This is Talkin Cowboys.
Streaming live from Dallas Cowboys training camp
In Oxnard, California.
C.D. Lamb, touchdown.
Parsons has sacked it. Prescott keeps it, and he bangs it in for the touchdown.
And now your hosts, Isaiah Stanback, Patrik Walker, Josh Rodriguez, and Kyle Yeomans.
Welcome to Talkin Cowboys with your host Y2J, Josh Rodriguez. I'm here with Patrik Dosey Walker. I'm here with Nathaniel Newton. We are Talkin Cowboys.
We are.
Sponsored by Black Rifle Coffee, the official coffee of the Dallas Cowboys. How are we doing, boys?
We're doing better than Sam Williams, unfortunately, but we'll get to that.
We'll get to that. Nate?
Hey, talking.
You gotta cut a wrestling promo for me, Nate.
Oh my God, Y2K, Josh Rodriguez.
We're doing wrestling promos? Okay, then you know what I got to go with, right?
What's that?
Let me talk to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was pretty good, Josh. I love
You like it?
baby. I loved it. Yes, sir.
How we doing, fellas? I mean,
great.
it's
Thank
a
you.
beautiful day.
Another
Yes.
beautiful day in California, man.
It was a
it is.
somber day at practice yesterday. Obviously, we need to get to it. But Patrik, you want to hit us with some news and notes?
Yeah, let's start with the bad, the really bad. Sam Williams, Cowboys' third-year defensive end, he went down early in practice yesterday. Individual drills, non-contact injury, carted off of the field, MRI. Basically revealed the worst-case scenario. He has suffered a torn ACL and a torn MCL. He is officially done for the season before the season gets started, and we'll talk about the impact of that, but that is massive for both Sam and the Cowboys. Garyon Conley, a veteran cornerback who was signed this offseason out of the UFL, looking to rebuild himself in the NFL. He decided to notify the team he'd retire, so they went ahead and released him. And in the same day, they were successfully awarded Keemon Hall off of the waiver wire. He was waived one day prior by the San Francisco 49ers. Hall is an undrafted free agent of the Los Angeles Chargers in 2019, but he spent some time here in Dallas with the Cowboys on the practice squad in 2020, so this is a second time around for him. They also signed Deontay Burnett and Kelvin Harmon, both wide receivers out of the UFL. That's going to give them some more competition.
Shouts
at
to the
that wide
Renegades, by the
receiver
way.
position. Shouts out to the Arlington Renegades 100%. And that's also due to the fact that rookie wide receiver Ryan Flournoy is dealing with what's being described as a minor knee issue right now. Mike McCarthy said on yesterday that he does not, quote-unquote, deem it anything serious. He calls it day-to-day. Hopefully that remains the case. And on the contract front, because I know you all want to know about the contracts, right? That's what you're here for. You know, that and football. The Cowboys did submit a new offer to both, not the lawnmower man, even though he's on his job.
He's on overtime
He's
today.
on his overtime.
He's on overtime
They
today. He's like,
submitted
day off? Let's interrupt every podcast.
Yeah, and let's get close to him. Let's come right up to their back. They submitted a new offer to both Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb as recently as this past weekend. So both of those contract talks have traction, and I mean nothing imminent as we have this conversation, but either one or both could fall right out of the sky at any point.
What about you, Nate? Any
Man,
news
yeah.
News and notes?
Nah,
Newts.
man, it was
Notes
great.
and newts.
What Patrik brought there, the CD Lamb thing needs to get done. Dak needs to get done. It'll work. I mean, they just throwing offers out there just to keep the talks open. That's all. They just keep
Of course.
the blood flowing.
And one thing Mike McCarthy said about the receivers that were brought in, it's healthy competition. And with Flournoy sort of on the back burner right now, cautiously optimistic, pulling him back, keeping him from those drills, it makes sense to bring in some healthy competition. And guys that are seasoned in the fact that they are ready to play football right now. They were just playing in the UFL mere months ago.
Yep.
I think a month ago, actually. So it makes sense for them to be on the field at this point.
I tell
They're
you what,
ready.
that wide receiver position, those two young guys, Burnett and Harmon, they better come in ready to get cooking, because that wide receiver position, in the absence of CeeDee Lamb, and obviously Brandon Cooks is out there doing his thing, but you talk about the law firm of Jalen, those guys are cooking. Yesterday, Tyron Billy Johnson had
Went
had a
off.
massive day yesterday. I think he had like 8 catches on 9 targets. One of them was that deep bomb with Kalen Carson on his hip. Another rookie, not another rookie because Tyron's not a rookie, but a rookie who had a big day yesterday as well.
Right,
Kalen Carson
shining.
having a big camp. That one deep ball that was given up to Tyron Billy Johnson, number one, it was a perfect throw. Number two, it was the only time that Kalen Carson got beat yesterday. He was manhandling whoever was put in front of him outside of that play. So wide receiver battle is off to the races.
Nice. Okay, so I want to discuss sort of the ramifications of the Sam Williams injury.
Yeah.
I think it's, obviously we lose him for 2024. It's unfortunate, but now we have to next man up. What happens next? How are you guys looking at the outlook now of the rest of the season with Sam Williams contributing not only on defense but also on special teams? And we talked about this on Camping Out, so this is kind of a carryover. But what do we think about the ramifications of him losing him for the rest of the season?
That was a big loss, especially in your pass rush situation. He's a playmaker now. He'll make a play on the run too. I mean, this was the year where he was looking for great maturity, a great leap from this young man. But being that he's out now and out for the year, I mean, Vilma, for Hoko, and the guys like that got to step up. But I'm gonna tell you something. Will McClay is excited about this Marshawn Nealon. He made Will cross two-step or crawfish or whatever. I mean, just several times. Watching the explosiveness of this kid, watching the lateral movement of this kid, he said, just a bigger D-Law. That's what he called him, a bigger D-Law with a lot more potential. So.
And Patrik has said similar things too about he's D-Law Jr.
Absolutely,
right?
I called him Junior Tank.
Junior Tank.
That's basically what, to me, that's how I view Marshawn Nealon. And I said this after the second round pick, and a lot of people on the Twitter sphere, X sphere, whatever you want to call it, kind of knocking the pick just because he wasn't a household name as far as pre-draft is concerned. But if you go back and you look at this kid's film and you look at what he's able to do, number one, he's one of the best run stoppers off of the edge in the entire draft. So you wanted the Cowboys to bulk up their run defense. Here's Marshawn Nealon. Also, he has the pass rush ability 100%. When you look at special teams in the absence of Sam, who gave you a huge chunk of special team snaps as well, Marshawn Nealon is going to be dropped right into that bucket as well. So the rookie's getting thrown from the frying pan right into the fire. He's going to have to acclimate quickly. My concern there is you lose Dorrance Armstrong to free agency. You lose Dante Fowler to free agency. Now you lose Sam Williams to a season-ending injury. Okay?
What rotation?
The rotation is a huge question mark because Marshawn Nealon, while he has the potential, he has the ceiling. I'm here with you, Big Nate, and I know you're going to agree. He hasn't played yet.
Yeah.
You don't know what you have yet in
right.
him at the NFL level. Behind him, you have a guy like Darrell Johnson. You don't know what you have there yet. Byron Vaughns, you don't know what you have there yet. Tyrus Wheat, special teams contributor. Defensively, you don't know what you have there yet. Former rookie 4th-round pick from last year, Junior Viliami Fehoko, was unable to earn reps onto the field last year under Dan Quinn. You don't know what you have there yet. It's just so many unknowns that this could very well be a situation where the Cowboys do need to go into free agency and bring in a veteran to help stabilize the right side of that defensive line.
Well, let's take a look at the possible free agents to sort of supplement the new vacant DE spot. Patrik, did you I know we were talking about this yesterday.
Yeah.
Did you take a look at the free agents that are on the wire now that could be considered for that vacant DE spot?
I did, and obviously a potential trade is always going to be on the table as well, but we're not going to talk any specific names because I'm not going to cost the Cowboys a draft pick. No, sir, not me. We're going to focus on those who are not under contract, and we're going to talk about that. Carl Lawson had a very interesting tweet on yesterday, simply tweeted an emoji, a star emoji. Read into that how you will, but just know that he's monitoring the situation, not only in the Cowboys camp, but in all 32 NFL camps to see what his best situation is going to be. Carl Lawson, obviously someone the Cowboys liked coming out of his respective draft. Yannick Ngakoue, that's a name to keep an eye on as well. Ngakoue also has a pre-existing relationship with Mike Zimmer. They spent time together with the Minnesota Vikings in 2020. Those are going to be my top 2 guys. Have a couple other guys as well. Tyus Bowser, he's a name that you guys are familiar with or should be familiar with. And then Charles Harris is a name as well. If you want to go with more veteran ability who has been proven, Justin Houston, he's out there as well. I don't know how much fuel he has left in the tank. And much like Bowser and Harris, well, shouldn't say much like, but Bowser and Harris, they're coming off of injuries.
Right.
So you don't know what you have there. So my top two to keep an eye on, Carl Lawson, Yannick Ngakoue, but there are options.
And go ahead, Nate.
And my picks, I have some picks. Darrell Johnson. I'm serious. For Hoko.
They got to step up.
Wheat.
Yeah.
Because the bad thing about this injury is that it happened to Sam Williams, which we was asking a lot from. The great thing about this injury is it happened early enough so you can get a good look at these guys.
Good point.
Absolutely.
You know, I remember early when Dak's career started. We you had Tony and you had, I can't think of the other guy. The guy just left our offensive coordinator a couple of years ago. You know, they got hurt. All of a sudden, like, we need to go to the waiver wire. Will looked up and said, "Nah." Will McClay looked up and said, "Nah, we got this kid here. Right now, it's so early. We don't bring in a soul. Look at these kids. Now, I mean, they don't get days off anyway because they're young.
You're right.
Just look at them over and over and over, and may go even into the first preseason game looking at these kids, making sure that the things that you saw, they've gotten better, a little bit better after a year. Or if they're new to this game, see how quick their learning curve is. And then with the background noise, we'll carry on.
Man, I tell you, that lawn gets mowed, something serious. But, I mean, Nate makes a great point, and it's like what I said before we start talking about some free agency names. These are names that are here in camp that have to step up and have to step up in a big way. Darrell Johnson, Byron Vaughns, Junior Fehoko, Tyrus Wheat. But then also keep an eye on a guy like Chauncey Golston.
Yes,
right?
sir.
Chauncey Golston started his career with the Cowboys on the end. They moved him inside to help with that defensive tackle equation, but they might have to pop him back outside. He was taking some reps at the edge over the past couple of days, even prior to Sam going down, so maybe that increases, especially with Chauncey going into a contract year. I'm sure he'd welcome as many reps as possible to try to have a breakout year.
100%.
You got to remember, Zim, go back to his Minnesota days, Zim doesn't have a problem with a tweener guy.
Right.
He likes guys. If you look at what he's brought in Neyland, look at his lower body. Zim still has that old school mentality. We're going to stop the run.
Yep.
You know, I mean, that perfect athlete, I love him, but I got to have somebody with some weight, with some bottom to him. I don't know how to put that without saying a big butt.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And you cannot lie.
Yeah. And so you look at Neyland, you look at Ghost. So these are two guys like that. And Neyland ran a 4.62.
Yeah.
So he can get on that end.
Yeah,
and yesterday
can.
we watched him in pass rush. He got some explosiveness to him, you know, in pass rush situations.
And speaking of explosiveness, Mozzie Smith.
Yeah.
Are we seeing this? Are we seeing the same thing? Are we getting our eyes checked?
I'm seeing it. And I'm seeing it with the glasses on, so that's how I know that it's right. Mozzie Smith, he's checking all the boxes right now.
He really is.
He's checking all the boxes. Over 300 pounds, reporting to camp over 300 pounds, check. Power still as explosive and legendary as it was when he was at Michigan, check. Get off on the snap. A massive, massive criticism of Mozzie Smith from last season. He's timing up well, and it's funny because, not funny, but ironic and not coincidental, we're talking about Sam, but there was a video I posted 2 days ago. It was through the walkthrough, the mock game, when it was a four-man down set. It was Sam Williams, Oso Digizua, Mozzie Smith, and Marshawn Nealon. And I was right there, lined up with the ball, and on the snap, only one person was equal to Mozzie Smith on the quickness on the first step, and that was Sam Williams.
Oof.
So take that how you will, because Sam Williams, in my opinion, is the quickest first step on the defense for anyone not named Micah Parsons.
I tell you like this, and for all you guys and gals that, it isn't pads. For what they are asking these players to do at this point in time,
talk to them.
Guys are doing it. I call it the 49er practice. The league has evolved into how the 49ers used to practice. They would put on pads for inside run, pads for one-on-one passing, and one-on-one pass rush, and then they would take them off. And the rest of the practice is about speed, about quickness, about knowing where to be. These young guys, especially the second-year guy, third-year guy, they are moving so much faster than a year ago, especially the offense. Everybody knows where to be. I saw I don't know what y'all have decided on what to call Turpin, these different names.
It's Turbo Turpin.
Yeah.
Actually, we have video evidence to support otherwise. I talked to Kevontae Turpin yesterday, and he likes the nickname.
You have
How
video
you
evidence?
said?
Turpy, speed.
Okay, but anyway,
We need you to cut that in next time.
We're going to cut it in.
I don't believe it.
Beamer's got it. He's
I
got
was
the video.
listening to him.
I'm not calling another man turkey.
I was listening to him yesterday during practice. He expected to get a ball, but another receiver ran in a wrong route, and he said that was the wrong route. That lets me know that he knows where to be, but he also knows where the other guy needs to be. This wasn't the Turpin we knew 2 years ago.
No.
Facts.
Maturity has set in with a lot of these guys. They are competing, like you said earlier. These wide receivers are competing. You know who brought that fire like that? That Billy Johnson kid.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah,
you did.
but I'm not gonna get, I ain't gonna slide
Man,
away.
for those that are saying, well, as it relates to Mozzie's quickness on getting off on the ball, where the pads are not on. I don't know if you think the pads weigh 40 pounds or 50 pounds. The quickness off the ball is the quickness off the ball.
Yes,
right?
exactly.
And guess what?
Exactly.
When Mozzie puts on pads, the offensive line has to put on pads as well, so that's a wash. Let's take it for what's happening in real time and not try to find reasons to devalue it. Fact is, let's not blow it up, but let's not diminish it. Fact is, he weighs more like he's supposed to. He's quicker than he was in year one. He's making progress and he's taking the steps, and that is something to be keep an eye on.
Sometimes you have to take a year to mature. I was critical on him, and my man Patrik could tell you early that I was trying to tell him for this year, this kid, it hadn't clicked.
Right.
Maybe it's a change of coaches. Maybe it's just maturity of knowing where he fit and what is expected of him. And what I've liked about this team concerning Mozzie is they didn't go out and get nobody.
Yeah.
They say, Mozzie, look here, you are the man. Let's go.
You the first round pick.
Right.
This is your responsibility. And so far, what they've asked these kids to do, Mozzie and all the rest, Turpin and all the rest, they have done what the coaches asked them to do. Move with quickness, know where to be, and do it in a timely fashion. These guys have done it up to this point.
And if Mozzie Smith does and continues this trajectory, basically what we're looking at is a replay of Jalen Tolbert. Right, so Jalen Tolbert came into the league and he was kind of deer in the headlights, and he admits it. And it took him that offseason following his rookie season to kind of get back to his roots and remember himself and get back to doing what got him here. And then in year two, we saw a completely different Jalen Tolbert.
Yes.
And it feels like at this moment, it feels like that's what's happening with Mozzie Smith.
And speaking of Mozzie, there is a great article now on DallasCowboys.com from Nick Harris from media availability yesterday. Got to talk to Mozzie Smith and got to ask him a few questions. And
when you get through, T.
And next on Talkin Cowboys, we're going to go into the media availability that we had yesterday and talk about one of the fan favorites that Patrik wrote about, DeMarvin and Overshown. More Talkin Cowboys right after this break.
I got something to say.
Todd thought it would be secure to jog in the cheetah savanna. Todd believed the big cat repellent he bought online was reliable. And now, Todd is trying to be faster than this cheetah that can run 80 miles per hour. But the good news is, Todd has AT&T 5G that is fast, reliable, and secure. And he learned the best thing to do is stop running and toss her the backpack with the beef stew. AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, secure.
5G requires compatible plan and device. 5G may not be available in your area. See att.com/5G for you for details.
If you're looking for fresh American roasted coffee that gives back, you need to head to your local grocery store and pick up a bag of Black Rifle coffee. That's right, America's coffee is now available in the coffee aisle of a grocery store near you. Black Rifle Coffee Company is veteran-founded with a mission to give back to those brave men and women who have served our nation. Every bag, box, or can you purchase helps support that mission. Head to your local grocery store and roast yourself some Black Rifle coffee today.
They say champions are remembered, but legends are never forgotten. United Ag & Turf offers a winning lineup of John Deere equipment built to tackle any challenge on and off the field. Legendary John Deere tractors, combines, residential mowers, commercial mowers, compact construction equipment, Gator utility vehicles, and a full line of golf and sports turf equipment. United Ag & Turf, the official Ag & Turf equipment supplier of the Dallas Cowboys. Visit UnitedAgAndTurf.com to find a location near you.
Life doesn't stop when the economy is uncertain. The market might not care you have a wedding to plan or a kid to put through school. And inflation doesn't know you've got a family to feed. But Bank of America does, and is here to help, With digital tools to help you save and local experts nearby, you can keep life moving forward the way you need it to. Bank of America. What would you like the power to do? Learn more at bankofamerica.com. Bank of America N.A., member FDIC, Equal Credit Opportunity Lender.
Back to Talkin' Cowboys.
This portion of Talkin' Cowboys is brought to you by Quaker Oats, the official oatmeal sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys. Quaker Oats, bring out the good. What are you
Could you do
laughing
that
at?
again? Could you do that again?
Bring out the good.
No, just start from the beginning.
Really? No, we're moving on. Quaker Oats, the official oatmeal sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys. Get your oats in, baby.
Okay. Get your oats in. We go Zeke you. We go Zeke you with the oats.
Nate is something else, man.
Making fun of my reads, Nate.
I love it, though. I love it. You're so serious.
I love it.
All right. We got more to get to. I want to get to DeMarvin Overshown.
Yeah.
Now, Patrik wrote a great article on DallasCowboys.com that Nate read.
How did you write? How long did you talk to him?
Probably not 4 minutes total. The total audio was.
And
maybe
you
like
wrote
4 minutes.
Go read that documentary that he wrote. Great documentary. I mean, I'm like, he had to talk to this kid at least 3 hours.
No, man, it was just total audio was like 3.5 minutes.
Okay,
not counting spaces.
Well, you did some hell of a filling.
It's not filler. That's
I'm a writer.
Elite journalism on DallasCowboys.com.
Great article, man.
It's about telling the story, and some stories are so enjoyable to tell, and this young man's story is absolutely one of them.
Okay.
You know, even pre-injury, this is an East Texas kid who grew up idolizing the Cowboys, always wanting to wear the star. He gets the nod from the Cowboys as the third-round pick, and then he shows out immediately in his first training camp, wasted no time making some waves. He goes down, first major football adversity. He had never suffered an injury as devastating as the torn ACL that he suffered. Question then is, can he come back, and how long would it take for him to hit prime form? And he's hitting prime form pretty quickly right now. And through the process of rehabilitation, he never lost that $1 million smile, never lost that positive attitude, never lost his face. So some stories are just not only worth telling, but you just feel good telling them, and Overshown is one of them.
Not only that story, but I remember last year at training camp, Haley Sutton worked on a video.
Shouts out to Haley. I see you.
Shouts out to Haley. She made an amazing video and edited it herself, I'm pretty sure.
She did.
With DeMarvin Overshown, where she went to his town, his hometown, and profiled him.
Some
amazing
horse riding and everything.
Horse, yeah. It really, really insightful on DeMarvin.
They rode a horse?
I don't know if she got a horse.
Okay, he has horses.
He has horses.
Okay.
He and his family, they have horses out in East Texas.
Very country. I love it. I love it. And that profile is great, but the article yesterday was even better. And it's great to see a player that is unanimously loved by everybody. You know, it's like everyone's just so excited to see him on the field, see him blazing. And like I said before, the man is a specimen. He is running around on fire, genuinely. Like,
and the beauty of it is the fact that his rehabilitation, he didn't just focus on getting his knee stronger, getting his legs stronger. He took that opportunity to add some weight. Right, but it's lean muscle mass. It's not "quote unquote" bad weight, as John Stevens Jr. Made sure that he pointed out. He's like, I didn't add bad weight; it's good weight. Overshown is +6 over last season. The total.
Why you looked at me when you said bad weight? I mean,
come on, don't internalize it. Don't internalize it.
I mean,
don't internalize
John,
it.
why he look at?
Don't internalize it. Don't attack mental health. Don't internalize. We're talking objectively. Bad weight.
Sir,
your weight got you, to legend status. So that's good weight.
Okay.
All right. It's relative. Okay. So Overshown, he's +12 over his pre-draft weight, +6 over last year. And I asked him straight up. I said, hey, how quickly or how long did it take him to get accustomed to his new frame, that +6, that added muscle? And he's like, it was a little, it took a couple days during the rehabilitation process, but he said he's back to full form. And just one thing that he said two things he said that really stuck out to me. I asked him how excited is he to get back on the field and especially get into these preseason games. And he said he's as looking forward to playing as he is y'all looking forward to him play.
Wow.
Right, so he's excited, he's ready to go, and he's right. We are more than ready to see him back on the field, especially for a linebacker core that needed to be rebuilt this season.
We needed him last year desperately, and to see him flying already this early after that injury is great. And I want to give a big shout out really quick to the jackhammer in the background. Like that, I think that's just
we're turning up back here.
We're turning up.
Let me add to that, Overshown, and he's a perfect example of what we're talking about. Early in camp, people were noticing this kid. I didn't notice him as much because I was absorbed at other positions. But people were telling me, hey, what did you see at Overshown? And, people are like, well, what did he put on the pass? Well, some kids can escalate.
Yep.
From the walkthroughs, the OTAs, and they just get better and better with recognition. And a lot of times that's what it's about. It's about recognition, knowing where to be. And so when they put on the pass, and this kid was popping. I mean, he just escalated. And that is what we're talking about. Can he overcome that knee? Because you talked about the mental part in the story. Go and read it. Great article. And he feels like he has no problem with it. And if any kid can make that jump where it doesn't bother him, I'm betting on Overshown.
Here's Overshown's quote to what Big Nate is saying. Quote, "You're going to hear my pads popping. I'm going to throw my pads around. Even if I got to hit myself, I'm hitting somebody." End quote.
Yeah.
He's ready.
Overshown, overcome.
Yeah.
That's ball.
What is ball?
That's
Turpy turp.
No,
it's in the same vein.
With this dude. He done named by 8 people. He done named by 8 people.
No.
It ain't none of them caught yet. The Overshown is the closest.
No. Look at the comments on Camping Out. People are dying for Turpy, speed.
Watch the show. Watch Camping Out. Don't
Watch
worry about
Camping
the
Out.
comments.
It's
Watch
great.
Camping Out. It was fantastic.
You'll see it. Anyways, practice picks. So I want you guys to all right, practice picks means interceptions. Now,
okay.
The secondary is showing out at camp this year. When you have names like Deron Bland, of course, but you also have Kalen Carson, rookie. You also have Josh Butler going out there snagging interceptions. How are we feeling about the secondary so far? And is it safe to feel optimistic of the secondary at this point? At this point. I'm not saying for the preseason game, I'm not saying for the start of the season, but at this point, is it safe to feel optimistic about the secondary?
Yes.
Thank you for listening to Talkin Cowboys. We really appreciate it.
Okay, all jokes aside, even though I was not joking at all, it is safe to feel optimistic for a couple reasons. One, look at how this secondary has been able to take the ball away in recent seasons, okay? And then you come off of a season where you lost Trayvon Diggs. Yeah, you did have Stephon Gilmore there as, the stabilizer. But look at what Deron Bland was able to do, move from nickel, which he had a breakout season at as a rookie, following the Jordan Lewis injury. You pop him outside, and what does he do? He ratchets it up, the intensity, and he becomes historic with the number of pick sixes. You're bringing that energy into this camp, and the fact that Trayvon Diggs could return any day now. But even before Trayvon Diggs takes the field, we're talking about interceptions having already happened.
Yes.
We're talking about Kalen Carson, #seatbelt, strapping up guys. Okay, we're talking about Josh Butler making athletic interceptions. Jordan Lewis had an interception on Dak Prescott. And guess who else with the pick six in this camp? It's Deron Bland. Absolutely, you should feel good about where this secondary is headed. Pre-Trayvon Diggs and most certainly post-Trayvon Diggs.
What you got to understand is, and this is old school to me, because normally this is how all of our training camps when I played, where the defense is so much ahead of the offense.
Yeah, that's true.
It felt that way last
year.
That's
In the secondary,
true.
it sure enough looks that way now. Not so much with the defense offensive line, because it's been a good little mismatch there, but secondary-wise, and I talked to Al Harris and said, Al, what's happening? He said, I'm trying to teach these boys to eat them up every chance they get on the field. And besides Dak, now Dak is through a few, but the other quarterbacks who haven't had any timing with these receivers, it is showing up tremendously.
They are, and it also goes to how Zimmer is scheming some of these guys. What we're seeing already is a lot of misdirection.
Yes.
So you're seeing a lot of misdirection. You're seeing safeties drop down to the line, and you're wondering, is he coming or is he bailing out? And on any given play, you don't know which one it's going to be. I saw just yesterday and in the mock game, Marquise Bell, he dropped down, and it basically was a single front. And then you didn't know who was going to drop out until the ball was snapped, and all of a sudden Marquise drops back in the single high. On the very next play, it's Dono. He drops down, and Dono goes.
Marquise Bell's like, I can do this?
Yeah, right.
I can drop back?
So this is how this feels?
Yeah.
Get back into
Instead of having 8,000 pounds coming at me?
Yeah,
yeah.
It's that type of misdirection that you're already seeing with the Mike Zimmer defense, and I don't think we're going to see anything but more and more of that as training camp goes on. Because, I mean, he's one of the OGs of confusing and just using smoke and mirrors to confuse quarterbacks and offensive coordinators.
Now, not to get into – well, he's a free agent, so – Stephon Gilmore, not on this team currently.
Not on any team.
Not on any team currently. Would you feel better going into the season with a signing similar to Stephon Gilmore, or do you think we play it out with the players that we have on this roster now?
I'm never going to tell you to not sign Stephon Gilmore. I was on the record in free agency saying bring him back. I love what I'm seeing in training camp.
Yes.
And I'm still saying I'm on board with bringing him back because
certainly doesn't hurt.
Right, you can't have enough playmakers. You simply can't have enough playmakers, and Stephon Gilmore proved last season that he's still a playmaker. Are you calling the landscape?
Stephon, just hold off a couple of more weeks. Let's see if
this is what I was going to say. This is what I was going to say. So I'm absolutely with bringing Stephon Gilmore back. I am also, it equally could be said that I would like to see a preseason game or two with Kalen Carson and Josh Butler.
Same
some
here.
Of these
They need
guys.
the reps.
But truth be told, you weren't going to see Stephon Gilmore in the preseason game anyway. So if you sign Stephon right now, I don't think it's not going to interfere with the preseason reps for these young guys. I think that if you can get Stephon Gilmore back in the building, you do it because you saw last year what he was able to do after the injury to Trevon Diggs. And that's why you brought him in. Injury insurance, but also to make some plays, and he gave that to you.
Absolutely. All right, boys, we need to take our next break, our final break, actually. When we come back, Tyler Guyton is looking great.
Let's talk.
And he had a few good reps yesterday against one of the best defensive players. Against one of the best defensive players on the team. Maybe the best. But we will tell you about that when we come back from this break. Sponsored by Black Rifle Coffee. Thank you for listening to Talkin Cowboys. We'll be right back.
Todd thought it would be secure to jog in the cheetah savanna. Todd believed the big cat repellent he bought online was reliable. And now, Todd is trying to be faster than this cheetah that can run 80 miles per hour. But the good news is, Todd has AT&T 5G that is fast, reliable, and secure. And he learned the best thing to do is stop running and toss her the backpack with the beef stew. AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, secure.
5G requires compatible plan and device. 5G may not be available in your area. See att.com/5G for you for details.
It's the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black. And right now, Cowboys fans can get 15% off their $75 order. Plus, because every deal needs a playmaker, your order will include a free 5-piece skincare set and free shipping. The Jack Black Playmaker is 4 of Jack's favorites and a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Make a play for the Playmaker at getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP.
Welcome back into Dear Doctor, the show where I answer life's questions with an ice-cold can of Dr. Pepper. Sheila, let's hear from our next caller, would you?
Dear Doctor, my friend supported me during a tough time, but what's the right gift that says, thanks for being a shoulder to cry on?
Okay, this one's easy. I say give her a delicious Dr. Pepper. Nothing says, thanks, girl, better than a one-of-a-kind soda. Yes, any Dr. Pepper flavor will do. Now, just a reminder that I don't need to be a real doctor to know that Dr. Pepper is the one you deserve.
If you're looking for fresh American roasted coffee that gives back, you need to head to your local grocery store and pick up a bag of Black Rifle Coffee. That's right, America's Coffee is now available in the coffee aisle of a grocery store near you. Black Rifle Coffee Company is veteran-founded with a mission to give back to those brave men and women who have served our nation. Every bag, box, or can you purchase helps support that mission. Head to your local grocery store and roast yourself some Black Rifle Coffee today.
Back to Talkin Cowboys.
Welcome back to Talkin Cowboys, live in Oxnard, California. This segment is brought to you by Invisalign, the official smile of the Dallas Cowboys. Give them the pearly whites, boys.
Live.
You like that?
I like that.
Come on, man. Better than hanging with the boys with Sharon. All right. So Tyler Guyton had a few really great reps yesterday. More than a few. He's taking first-team reps also.
Spicy.
And Patrik, who did he beat yesterday.
What's that guy's name?
Michael
Parsons.
Michael
Parsons. Let's take it back a couple days. Friday, mock game / walkthrough. We see Tyler Guyton getting first team reps, which is eye-opening in and of itself, but it's also against rookie second-round pick Marshawn Nealon. Fast forward to yesterday, team drills, first team reps again, check. Who's he lined up against? The Lion himself. All eyes are on that matchup. All eyes.
Number 11.
And then it happened. And then it happened again. Michael Parsons could not get past Tyler Guyton. And he was bringing out the moves. There's one particular rep where he tried a speed rush on the first step. Guyton got lateral, shut that down. Michael reset, tried a spin move. So that's 2 moves on 1 rep, and neither of them got past Tyler Guyton. Keep an eye on that rookie first-round pick. He's been putting in the work this summer, and he's making some strides quickly.
So, when they put on them pads tomorrow.
Yeah, all eyes.
Yeah, because when it happened the first time, Parsons just kind of looked at him, side-eyed.
Okay.
And the second time, he said, let me give him a second move just to see if it's, And he's still. So now he's looking at him like, yeah, man on now. Yeah.
That was exciting to see. I'm excited to see more from practice, even though we don't have practice today. What have been some of the best individual plays that you guys have seen on the practice field so far in our first weekend here at training camp?
Go ahead, Big Nate. What you got?
You know who it is. Billy White Shoes Johnson.
Billy White Shoes.
Whatever. Billy Johnson is his name. Number 13, opposite of our boy Overshown.
Yeah.
This kid, for what they have done, this kid is he ratcheted up the competition.
Mm-hmm.
He letting everybody know that for every rep you give me, it's one kid wanted to come out because he thought he had hurt himself, and he saw number 13 from the run in, and he waved him off like, nah, because this kid is competing. And that's what you need is guys that are confident in who they are and what they're doing. This kid is competing, man, and he's making everybody else bring up their level of competition. Just stay touch from what they can do with no pads on.
So many opportunities already just through 4 days of practice to point out potential favorite plays, but I'm going to go with DaRon Bland and that interception.
Yeah.
It's not just that it was an interception. It's how he got that interception. He drops back. He baited Dak Prescott. He gave the wide receiver just enough space where it made Dak Prescott feel comfortable that the window was open for a quick drop and out on a 2-step. But as soon as that ball was in the air, he launched himself to close
like Speedy Gonzalez.
Laid out completely, took the ball, held it through the process, popped back up, and then pick 6. So for me, it's not just that it was the interception. It's the way that he baited the quarterback into thinking the window was there, but it wasn't really there.
From out of nowhere.
RKO from out of nowhere is basically what DaRon Bland is. He's a human RKO.
Vintage DaRon
Bland. And if you thought it was a fluke, you thought wrong.
And, I know we're talking about plays, but it's like with Billy, it's been like every play has been.
Yeah, he's been doing some things.
Yeah,
man.
Especially that bomb on the rook.
But so has Jalen Tolbert. Jalen Brooks continues to impress. Jalen Cropper had a couple strong days. So that goes back to what we're saying. This wide receiver competition is off and it's to the races, and you gotta love that these young guys are taking advantage of these opportunities because him is on the way back sooner than later. And when him returns, then those reps are going to kind of dwindle. So get it while you can because CeeDee Lamb won't be gone for long.
Ooh, got to step it up while you can, and that's why you have Kavontae Turpin out there too. He's absolutely taking Turpy.
Why are you enabling? Don't enable.
Gotta egg it on a little bit.
I just want him to use it every chance he
Turbo Terp.
Because that's probably the only time it'll get used.
No, we talked to him.
But talked to him. Shouts out to Kavontae. Kavontae's been going hard and ratcheting up things this offseason. His chemistry with Dak Prescott is quite evident. So when you're talking about, and I said this on several episodes, when you're talking about the battle for WR3, yes, talk about Jalen Tolbert. Yes, talk about Jalen Brooks. Yes, talk about Jalen Cropper and how Tyron Billy Johnson is Billy White Shoes, if you will, is starting to make those climbs. But always keep Kavontae Turpin in that conversation because he is doing some special stuff as well.
Yes, he is.
And he's had enough time now. He's a vested vet on this team, basically. Now, Nate, you had a great question before we started that you wanted to add sort of to our rundown. What was your question sort of about?
It's about
practice in general.
There's no pads on. Everybody's much aware of that.
Of course.
And especially with the older guys my age or a little bit younger, it ain't no pads on. And I've always told people, it's kind of a 49ers thing, and I've been over that several times. But what I've liked about all of these kids, especially, guys that are not rookies, how they were moving with quickness, with purpose, with the desire to compete within the framework of what is handed to them. You don't see a bunch of guys running wrong routes. You don't see a bunch of guys bumping into each other on the games for its pass rush. You don't see offensive linemen blowing assignments or jumping off sides. I mean, that may come as they put on the pass, but for what the coaches ask these guys to do individually and teamwork, these guys seem to know what to do, know where to be, and go there with a purpose. And I like that. I like this early in the camp.
Well, and when these pads come on, and we talked about this at the top of the show, Darrell Johnson, Junior Fehoko, the list goes on, Chauncey Golston at the edge, these guys are really going to have to make things pop in the absence of Sam Williams.
Well, okay. Now, this is another thing that kind of has fans heated about the Sam Williams injury is that, it's like, what are they doing out there that this tends to happen? This happens once a year, it feels like, where we get a catastrophic injury here at camp. And let me be clear, that was a special teams drill. That was not. There were no pads.
There were no pads. Nobody hit him in the leg.
No contact.
No contact. It's one of those things where, now I spoke about this yesterday with several fans in Cowboys Nation. It's not specific to the Cowboys. I know we exist in this Cowboys
we have a bubble.
We are in this bubble, but there are 32 bubbles, and I can assure you that in all 32 bubbles, they're dealing with the same thing. Torn ACLs have been a league-wide issue and pandemic as far as injuries are concerned for several years now, which is what's birthed the grass versus turf conversation. But obviously, Sam Williams, he tore it on grass, non-contact. Trayvon Diggs last year at the facility back home, but it was on the grass field, right? So my thought process is this. In 2024 and beyond, we're of the age where athletes are stronger, faster, quicker than they've ever been in the history of human civilization. That being said, tendons, meniscus, and ligaments are not necessarily able to keep up with what the muscles are doing when the muscles are operating at that level. So, you get torn Achilles and popped Achilles. You get torn ACLs, MCLs, PCLs, and things like that. And it's just unfortunate. But how do you get a handle on that? That's the question, but I don't think there's an immediate answer to it.
You don't get a handle on it. It's called football.
Yeah, it's football.
It's called sports. It's called getting acclimated, and sometimes you take a bad step. I think somebody lost their starting kicker just jogging out on the field and tore up a hamstring and lost for the year. This is football.
Right.
One thing I would ask all players to do around the league is train more in the house.
Yeah.
Let your training staff and your peoples train at your facilities. Don't go off. Stay home. But injuries are going to happen. It's called football. It is a physical sport, and it's not normal. It's not like me, you, and Pat and Josh, we just walking around. I mean, but we can get a torn ACL walking up some steps.
Ask the Dallas Cowboys Kickball League.
Yeah.
Dallas Cowboys Kickball League. We had someone who tore their ACL playing kickball like that.
And Chris Beam is the referee.
Yeah, I feel like you're hitting
the referee everybody loves.
But it comes with playing sports, and unfortunately, that's just a part of it. So, what can you do? Not play sports, I guess, because outside of that, injuries are going to happen. They're going to be unfortunate. And Sam's, it was a freak injury. He went to plant his leg, non-contact, his knee blew out. What can you do? And for those that are saying, well, what more can the Cowboys do this and this? I come out here sometimes and I see the Cowboys defense and offense going through yoga.
Yes.
Right. So the Cowboys are investing resources in trying to prevent those soft tissue injuries, strength conditioning. So shout out to the training staff, Britt Brown, Jim Meyer, and the crew. But at the end of the day, the individual's body is either going to hold up to it or it's not. And when it's not, you never know when that might be. So for Sam Williams, unfortunately, that came on Friday with the torn ACL and MCL. Wish him the best long journey to get back. But the good news is, well, I should say the silver lining, not the good news. The silver lining is John Stevens Jr.,
yes,
Trayvon Diggs, DeMarvion Overshown, David Durden. We live in a league nowadays where a torn ACL does not have to be career threatening. You can be back on the field in 12 to 13 months from now. So you talk about timing of it happening.
Yes.
Not only does the timing make it less of a tragedy for the Cowboys because they now have time to figure out, but for Sam Williams, he might be on the field next year's training camp.
Yes, absolutely. And we've come a long way in that sense. Boys, we have to wrap it up. It's 9:45. We got to head out. Thank you, Patrik. Thank you, Nate. Thank you for Christopher, Paul Beamer in the background. Go Team USA.
Yes.
Keep up with the very latest on DallasCowboys.com.
Did you see Simone? Simone said, who needs 2 ankles? Simone Biles.
Absolutely killing it. Go Team USA.
I
Later
miss
today. Go ahead.
synchronized diving. I'm so sad. I'm going to have to YouTube it now.
He's so mad about it. He doesn't want to watch any of the rest of the Olympics because he missed synchronized diving. But we'll have Hanging with the Boys later with your host, Sharon. Thanks for coming. We really appreciate it.
Hey, just Shannon Gross, my teammate. Me and Josh finna go at it.
Thank you very much. We'll catch you next time.
Beat you up over a biscuit in a minute.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!